Guys, I've had a lot of administrative errors on this live stream. Um, I know that I started and stopped it multiple times, and you guys are definitely helping me out. I know that you're probably sick of me cutting in and out of these live streams, but you know I'm here, and we can go ahead and get this going together. Hopefully, there we go. Okay, yeah, I'm back. I apologize. I had to change the name of the live stream and it required me to turn it off. So I'm sorry. Yep, I'm back. I'm back, guys. Yeah, you did. I knew you thought you lost me. That's okay. But I actually had to turn the video off, delete the video, and then I had to rename the title because Mr. Willingly or Timothy, remember uh, I can't remember exactly who it was, but that uh, someone told me that the title needed to be changed so that people wouldn't ignore it. And you're absolutely right. So thank you. Unfortunately, I had to go through the administrative stuff on that one. Stephen, once again, thank you for jumping on. Yes, I do remember the live stream you and I did back a while ago. Boy, that was several years ago. So how you been? Let me know. I'd like to hear. Hopefully you guys can hear me a lot better. So thank you. And finally, my phone is actually being held. I'm not having to use my mittens to do it, so I can actually enjoy a good drink with you guys. But yeah, so anyway, feel free to ask me any questions in the comments section. This is just a Q&A. Just call me Slick. I go by, my full name is Slick Six Guns, but just call me Slick. Most people do. Yep. Thank you. Well, I'm actually drinking a soda. I'm drinking Diet Coke. I'm a fan of Diet Coke. I know that some people have a tendency to not really like that. So just letting you know that I hope that's okay with you. So appreciate it. Hopefully you guys are drinking something back home. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Hopefully you guys are loving the content. Once again, as I've been saying, my content is strictly for you guys. Yep. Root beer, Dr. Pepper, and Coke. Yeah. I like root beer too. I like Dr. Pepper as well. But I prefer the diet stuff. I just like the taste. I know that some people don't like it, but that's just me. Yeah, if you ask me a question about a gun, depending on which gun it is, I've got a lot of different guns that I work on. I've got a lot of guns that I have. I mainly focus on Western firearms. So yeah, I'd probably be able to tell you what it is unless it's something really obscure. I'd be able to talk about it. It kind of depends on what you want to know. But sure, shoot, ask me the question by all means. Yep, and I know, Steven, you are a karaoke singer. Yes, I know I have watched a few of your videos on that. How's your channel going, by the way? Let me know. Love to hear it. That'll do, Red. Sorry, I got a dog around here. I'm waiting on him to get in here, so we'll see what happens. He could come in here, maybe say hello. I don't know. But if he does come in here, yeah, I'm trying to actually get him over here. Unfortunately, I can't leave. So hang on a second. I'll see if I can call him. You guys might want to cover your ears. Might want to cover your ears while I call him. That'll do, Red. That'll do. Maybe I left him outside. What's up, man? Kaneki, how are you? Oh, here he is. Puppy came in. What's up, Mr. Puppy? How are you? I don't know if he jumps into the camera. We'll see. Yep, Steven, good job. Thank you. Good. Glad to hear. Glad to hear that your new YouTube channel is working out. You got 176 subs. That's awesome. So right now I am streaming. This is just a Q&A for me. I haven't done a live stream in a while. We're talking about a year. So this is really, we have like 30,000 additional subscribers on this channel, and I kind of just wanted to see if anyone would be interested in a Q&A and just ask me some questions. So that's mainly the reason. But I mean, there's always other things we can talk about. I can talk about just about anything here, you know? Anyway. So, hey, sorry, my dog's kicking the camera. Yeah, I know, bud. I know. Anyway. There we go. So yeah, I saw a question up here. I wanted to go ahead and answer it. I try to be as open as I can. But yeah, I hope that answers your question, Kaneki. Feel free to ask me. Anyway, yeah, he says, Slick, is that your wife in the picture behind you? Yes, it is. I don't know if you guys can see it, and if you can, great. If not, that's okay too. But yes, that is my wife. Thank you for asking. Yeah, I've been married for 11 years. Long time. Not as long as some, long enough, you know? Let me go down. Okay. All right. When I get a house here in PA, I might do a live stream again. Okay, well, Steven, be sure to hit me up. Definitely open to doing live streams with people. I've done live streams with a lot of other YouTubers. I think Midwest Hail was one. I did one with Tuco, Small Caliber Arms Review, Duke Frazier. There's a few people. What's your favorite gun, Mr. Slick? Okay, so my absolute favorite gun, surprise, surprise, is going to be a Henry rifle. Any of you can guess why? Well, I'll go ahead and tell you anyway. The fact is it is a successful rifle. There were only 13,000 made. They're highly collectible. They're just overall pretty looking. That King's Patent loading gate is great on later models. I think it is all its own. Just seeing a full-on all-metal receiver, no holes or accoutrement with that. It's kind of plain Jane, simplistic, but at the same time very classic. The octagonal barrel and the fact that the magazine tube is integral with the barrel is kind of cool and unique in itself, even though it's not new. I think it makes it heavy, for one. For those of you who have handled Henry rifles, you know what I'm talking about. It's just a very cool looking gun. The magazine capacity is great. Don't get me started on firing the damn thing. Excuse me if I swore. I try not to. But firing the thing, it makes your hand hot. That's why you got to wear a glove, especially if you're shooting black powder. If you're even shooting smokeless powder, you might as well put a glove on. It kind of is funny that you see people that don't wear them. I've been guilty of it too, but I mean, you got to have a glove with that type of rifle. The barrel's nice and long. Obviously, that varies based on the model you get, but it was traditionally known to have have about 16 rounds in the magazine, I believe. I think the 1866 had 17 in the standard models. Kind of gave it a one-up. Either that or they advertised it as one in the spout, but I'm not sure on that. Don't quote me on it. By all means, on the Q&As, if you're going to ask me questions, you have to understand that some of the stuff I haven't might not have completely researched, but you have to also understand that I'm trying to give you the best and most honest explanation based on what I've said in some videos. But if I make a slip up, if I make a mistake, by all means, you can call me out on it. That's fine. I could be wrong. I'm not, you know, I I like to know, I like to tell people I'm an enthusiast. I'm not an expert. Okay, so I could give you information that is not 100% correct, but I like to pride myself on I'm mostly giving the best information that I know, which is probably right, because I do definitely back source my info through books, my own research. Obviously, my own research can mean anything these days when it comes to the information age. People put a lot of garbage online, but to be honest with you, it depends on who you listen to. I really try to find credible sources, and I try to research the source before I utilize it as the gospel. I think that's something that people have a tendency to kind of not really do. Yeah, thank you. Very informative. Actually, wasn't prepared for so much information. Okay, well, thanks for also reminding people to get likes on the stream. Please do. I would like people to kind of get the word out. I am doing live streams too. I've been able to do a little bit more, be a little bit more open to doing some of these. Would like to do one once a week, every day. Don't know. It kind of depends on what sort of feedback I get. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for the thumbs up, man. Thanks. Yeah. But yeah, I spout off all sorts of information. I hope it's the correct information. I don't want to lead anyone astray. I really do try to pride myself. I do pride myself on trying to be as accurate as possible. I'm not one of those guys that tries to just give you the wrong information. Most of the time, I usually have some credible resource to back it up. Whether it be the manual itself for the firearm or whatnot. No, don't leave. Don't leave. Come on, stay a little longer. That's okay. I completely understand. We got a few more people, but I mean, by all means, ask me questions. So we'll see what we got. Hopefully you have a great time wherever you're going, even if it's not with me. Good luck to you. Thank you for joining, Timothy. For those of you who are new to the stream, just drop a question in the comments. I'm doing this strictly because we have a lot of new subscribers. Like I said, we have a total of 86,000. I'm trying, and recently, I want to say over the last 2-3 months, gosh, maybe even longer than that, about 6 months, we've gotten about 30,000 additional subscribers. So it's always kind of nice to kind of have a meet and greet on a live stream, introduce myself, tell you who I am. And I'm sure you guys have been watching my shorts, my posts, and all that stuff. And I know my last live stream that I did actually about probably 10-15 minutes ago really wasn't that informative because you really couldn't hear it. But, I'll try and tell you some of the stuff that was going on, mainly for the sheer fact of just that we're putting out content every day. No matter what it is, whether it's a short, a long form video, a post, a live stream, we're putting out content every day. And that's the one good thing about this channel is we try to put out content so that you guys are constantly getting good information and a lot of information, entertaining information. It kind of runs the gamut. I do come up with silly things. I know that some people are here for that. I know that some people could care less. But, nonetheless, a lot of, excuse me, a lot of the information I come up with is still informative. And I know that you guys like it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So that's great. Anyway, so yeah. But yeah, go ahead and drop a comment in there and, let's get started. I would love to hopefully continue a conversation with you guys. I'll be here for a little bit. You know, tell me your name, tell me what you're drinking. I always like my Q&As to be relatively interactive. It's more about the viewer than it is about me. So, but ask me any questions. I'll try to ask you, as we go through this live stream. So it kind of just depends on how long we want it to go for. I know that that's kind of one of those things that people, you can't stick around for the whole thing, I'm sure. I know when a lot of people, I'll tell you that. Yes, I'm not wearing, the full regalia. I only have a Western top and, have shorts on. One, it's hot. Two, getting dressed up in a live stream, you just need to be up in here, for the most part. So I know that people might not be too happy with that, but, you try to dress the part when you can. And this is one of those things where, I'm not shooting a full body video, so I hope you understand, So, anyway. But yeah, just some interesting things that I've been getting in the comments and in the videos. I just want to go ahead and bring up. A lot of people are concerned about my thumbs. Yes, it's hitchhiker's thumb, and yeah, I do have a wound on my hand. I was working earlier today, and I kind of dinged it up, so, anyway, that kind of happens. But my thumbs get a lot of comments, so I know that's kind of one of those things. No, they're not broken. No, they haven't been broken. But you have to honestly, I know that people pay attention to detail in that. And so, yes, I do want to say my thumbs are okay. I know I get a lot of comments on them, but they are just fine. They are normal to me. No, they aren't normal thumbs, but they are not broken. They work just fine, okay? So I do want to alleviate that. So I did put out a short on that, and now I'm telling you in a live stream that my thumbs are okay. It may look weird, but yes, I am okay. Wow, you're in Slovenia? Wow. Well, welcome, man. I always like getting people from other countries. It's nice to hear. I know that I have most of my viewers are from the United States, but it's cool that I have people from the European Union and or Europe in general. I don't even know if you're part of the European Union. Apologize if I am incorrect in that statement. But Europe, thank you for joining. I'm sure I have a few other people like that, as well as Canada, and I know that I have a few people from India that like to get on too, and I do have a few from the Middle East. But most of my viewers are from the United States. I know that based on my analytics. So thank you for joining. Good night to you. Okay, good. You are in the EU. Okay, so I wasn't wrong. Well, welcome to the channel, and feel free to drop in anytime I have a live stream. And if you want to leave a comment on any of my videos, I'll try to answer it. I typically do. So thank you. Anyway. But yeah, I do want to address that too with comments. So I do answer my comments quite a bit. I read over comments a lot. Yep, see you, buddy. I do answer comments quite a bit. For those of you who have been commenting on my videos, I'm sure it's not surprising to you that I have actually commented back. Probably some of you aren't too happy that I commented back because I know that some people are trolling, and, trolls gotta troll, man. I completely understand that. If you're going to troll, fine, I'll let you troll, but don't be surprised if I call you out on it, okay? That's just the way it is. So, if you get mean and nasty, I have my ways of dealing with that. I don't censor anybody on my channel. Please, if you guys see any comments that get removed on my channel, please understand that's not me doing it. That's probably YouTube. I know YouTube has certain guidelines. But I don't censor anybody. Whatever comment I get is what I get. I full well know that if I post something on the internet, that people are going to comment on it. I'm sure that they have some opinions about it, and I just kind of prepare for whatever comes. So whatever comments I get, good, bad, or indifferent, I don't censor it. So you don't have to worry about that with me. Uh, Short of having the live stream be hijacked or having any issues with comments that are uh, disrespectful to the point where you use swearing and all sorts of stuff like that. I have yet to run into any of that, to be honest with you. People do swear in my comment section, but it's not really at me. It's more just as a generalization, so I don't take it as offense if people are trying to offend me in that manner. So I don't really do that. And I certainly don't really try to swear at people. So I try to keep myself pretty composed, if you will. Anyway, feel free to ask any question here. We're going on 20 minutes, so we'll see how long this goes. Obviously, the audio's been pretty good, so, that's awesome. I know that you guys have probably been bombarded with the fundraiser I'm doing for the new original Henry, or the new Henry rifle, or the original Henry, I should say, that I'm trying to get. I think that, let me know what your comments are on that. I don't really get a whole lot of people that really comment on it. I get votes on it, and that's pretty much what I get. No one really comments on it. I get a few people that kind of poo-poo it, but it's rare. And I know that it can be kind of irritating to get posts like that. It seems like you're spamming, but to be honest with you, it's a post. That's it. If you see, you post what you post. And if you don't like what is being posted, okay. There's other forms of media that I post, such as shorts and live streams and soon to be longer form content. Let me know in the comment section if you have actually been watching my videos, my longer form content. Let me know which video caused you to subscribe. I would like to know that. And maybe we can also talk about that video too. I have some history with each video that I've done. And I know for a fact that in the long form content, those videos, some of them are pretty old, but they're still relevant. I think my last long form content video was a year ago. So I've been kind of digging in on the shorts thing. And I know the shorts thing is kind of, you're either into it or you aren't. And so some of my subscribers may have felt like they're forgotten about, but definitely there's content that's going to be coming your way that you're into, whether you're into shorts, live stream, or long form. Maybe you're into podcasts. I started doing that a while ago too. I might have another one of those. But podcasts to me require a lot of research. So some of those, I think I made 2 or 3 podcast videos. I can't remember. But I can tell you that I spent probably a good day researching for it, at least. So trying to do that kind of content does take a lot more time. That's the good thing about shorts is it doesn't. I can show you just something quick. It keeps your attention or not, depending on what kind of person you are. And then we move on. We move on to the next one. So, I guess it's kind of quantity over quality, if you will. But it kind of also depends on what I have time for. I am, for those of you who don't know, I'm actually a one-man show. Hey, Jack, good to see you, man. Thank you for joining. Jack here comments on my videos all the time, man. Hey, thank you for coming. Ask me any questions. I'm obviously live. Let me know what you want to know, if you have any questions, and we'll go from there. But other than that, I'm just rambling on. So yeah, some of these people who are in the comments section, if I recognize your handle, I'll definitely give you a hey, hello there, and everybody's welcome. So come on in, say hello. Give the video a like. Hopefully we boost people coming in. I know it is Saturday, so we're coming in and having a grand old time. I know it's probably getting to dinner time too, so we'll see how this goes. But anyway, yeah, some of you are new here, some of you are old here. Everything's been good. No, I did not. Did you buy the Henry? No. The reason why I haven't bought it is because there's a fundraiser for it, and until the fundraiser is complete, I probably won't buy it. I think this is important because it's an endeavor that the channel is going to work towards. However long it takes, it takes. Those rifles are expensive, man. They're some of the most expensive rifles I've ever seen. I have gotten to hold an original, and I can tell you that the quality, even now, if the rifle is in good condition, is just exquisite. Nothing like it. So, no, I did not buy one. Thank you for asking, but that's what the fundraiser is for. If you guys want to contribute in the fundraiser, by all means, I am doing a raffle and a giveaway, a giveaway raffle, if you will, of both cash prize as well as, an item. I'm not going to say what it is because of YouTube reasons, but I am giving away an item, so I want you guys to just go ahead and take that into account. I hope that gives people more consideration to contribute. I know that sometimes it's kind of hard to. I know that times are hard to do that. I do have my own funds for all of you that don't already know. I most of my stuff is most of my stuff is basically bought with my own money. I've been doing this for about 6, 7 years now. Every video that I have gotten up with any firearm has been provided by my own funds. And I can tell you for a fact that if I were to go through my entire collection, I would tell you that I probably have about $60,000, 60,000 US worth of that stuff in that collection. So yeah, it's taken me years to do that. You could say, well, why don't you sell a couple firearms to purchase it? The answer is I don't want to. Quite simply, a lot of those are pieces of history. I just some of them you won't find again once you get rid of them, and I don't want to do that. So, yeah, I could probably save up a little bit of money and work my way towards it. But I think that it's important to have group effort in getting this. Since this is most of the firearms I procure, well, all of the firearms I procure for use is typically for the channel. So, come on, go all in. Would you rather watch a tree grow or a knee grow? Okay. I think I understood that joke, but yeah. I don't know where you're going with that. Man, that's funny. I don't know where you're going with that joke, bro, to be honest. But that's pretty funny. It took me a minute, but I did get it. So thank you. I wish I was that chair, bro. I don't think you do. I'll be straight up with you on that one. You know how much I weigh? Too much. you would not enjoy being this chair. I am enjoying the chair though. I like it. Uh, you know, yeah, trust me, I do. Okay. If you say so, man. If you say so. Anyway, but yeah, thanks, man. You are the best. I think I'm the best too. Hopefully, I'm the best YouTuber for you that I can be. So anyway, but yeah, by all means, ask me some questions. We'll go from there, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, we got 3 likes so far. But yeah, go ahead and see where we go. But yeah. Anyway, any of y'all on vacation? It's summertime. I know the kids are out and all that stuff. Still killing me with that joke, bro. Would you rather watch a tree grow or a Negro? You still got me laughing. Oh, man, great comments. Awesome. Good engagement. I love it. I love talking to the viewers. It's awesome, man. Let me know what you're drinking. Let me know where you're watching from as well. Normally on my live streams, I have a typical script. This one is not scripted. I'm trying something out because I just want to see what kind of engagement I get. I want to see who's interested in talking, because maybe we just need to do this because it's just awesome. So, it's great to hear people. Great to see you. So, hopefully the audio is working out. Had some complaints in the last video, so hence the reason why I'm doing the startup again. So we'll try it. Anyway, hello to those whoever just came on. Thanks for dropping by. Make yourself at home. Ask me questions. Love to hear from you. Been making a lot of shorts, making a lot of long form content, all that good stuff. So, but welcome to the. I wouldn't want to say this is a new live stream background, because if I were doing it again, I would probably put the green screen up. But to be honest with you, I didn't want to haul that thing in 100 yards. So you got me here in a chair, just chit-chatting. Oh, man. I gotta let myself relax a little bit. Weather's been kind of overcast lately, so, but still been hot and muggy. Those of you who are watching from Texas, let me know. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway. Man. What else is there to talk about? Guns are cool. Let's just be honest. You came to this channel for the guns, man. Or gal. I don't know. I probably have a few ladies who watch this channel. I'm not sure. If you let me know. If you're a lady, let me know. I know that my viewers, I want to say, are about 90% men. I think it's actually 99. I think I have like less than a percent is women, but I do have females that watch this channel. So, they're into guns too. Welcome to the channel. Glad you're interested. And as I said, it's been a while since I've done a live stream, but here I am nonetheless. Just want to talk to the viewers. So, And you know, I really can't have firearms on live streams. YouTube is weird about that. For those of you who listen to the community guidelines on that, I can't hold a firearm in a live stream. So rather than risk being banned or risk having a channel strike, I just don't do it. So, you know, we'll see. Anyway. Well, hello, whoever's watching. Welcome. I know we're kind of light on the viewership, but it'll probably get better. I don't know. We'll see how long this goes. I may get hungry and step away and may do a live stream later. I don't know. Let me know what you think about my videos, what your guys' thoughts are. I'm just here, you know, just a guy to talk to. Think of me as a guy sitting around the fire pit. We're having a beer together. Oh, hey, well, happy birthday. Peru, is that how you say it? Peru. Happy birthday, man. Have a drink on me. It's a great day to be alive. You know? So. But yeah, let me know what you guys find most informative about my channel, all that stuff. I'd love to get your feedback. You know, I get quite a bit of feedback. And it's great. So. Yeah, we'll see. Hello, welcome. Thanks, but it's July 20th where I live. So where are you? Let me know. I always love to know where my people are watching from. Had a guy on from Slovenia earlier. Let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to hear it. Europe. Which country? Let me know. I'm pretty familiar with geography. So if you tell me which country, I might know exactly where you're at. But yeah, it sounds about right. It would be July 20th. Macedonia. Wow. Okay, so you're down near Greece, huh? Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's near Greece. So awesome, man. Yep. Okay, good. I did not mess up on my geography there. Awesome. Great. Macedonia. Well, we're here in Texas, in the United States. So, you know, let me know how you found this channel. If there's any questions you have about me, whatever. You know, welcome to the channel, bro. If this is your first time here, thank you for joining. Yeah, I know. But you know, you gotta get it started. To be honest, I mean, if people want to tell jokes, that's fine. I got no problem with it. You know, I try to keep my sense of humor too. But you know, ask me. You know, try to have some legit questions as much as possible, and you know, I'll try to be as honest as I can and just tell you about me, or you know, or anything. We can have a conversation about anything here. Shoot, we could have a conversation. I'm pretty talkative. I don't know if you noticed that, but I mean, I haven't really shut up during this whole live stream. I may shut up for a few seconds, but I'll start rambling again. It was recommended. Good. Okay. Which video was recommended to you? Can you tell me that? Was it recommended by a friend, as in they just told you, "Hey, go watch this guy," or was it a video came up? And if so, which video came up that was recommended to you? Oh, this live. Okay. Well, hey man, you should go ahead and you know, go through my channel page, look through some videos, and see if this is content you want. Otherwise, you know, after this live stream, of course, don't sign off right now. But it depends on what you're into, man. If you like Western guns and all that, welcome to the channel that does it. I mean, we do it, and we're all about that. So welcome to that channel. I know there's a few other channels that do that in this space. There's people like Guns of the West, Santee over at Arizona Ghost Riders does it every now and then, but I know that he doesn't always focus on firearms. Tuco does it a lot, but he's more on the trick shooting side. Then you also got, I've done interviews with a lot of them. Who's the guy? St. Andrew TV is another one. He does a lot of Western stuff. Yeah, I was talking with my Timothy on a call, and he was sharing his screen, and it was on his homepage randomly, and I told him to send me the link too, and you seem like a nice person. Okay, well, anyway, yeah, I think I'm a nice guy. I think I'm a nice dude. I don't really have a whole lot to really hate on people for. I'm probably a different person when it comes to, if you work with me. But, I mean, as far as YouTube is concerned, I'm a pretty decent guy. Try to be as genuine as possible. I skimmed through the YouTube page. Great. I hope you liked it. I definitely have a description in there. It kind of tells you a little bit about what I'm about. That's okay. I understand you get typos in there. But yeah, if you skim through the YouTube page on this channel, you'll be able to see quite a bit of videos. I think I have 860 something, 860 videos right now that you could go through. I've been doing this a while, 6 to 7 years, almost the better part of a decade. Some people have been doing it for a decade, and I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of impressed with people like that. Some other Western gun tubers that are kind of like me, other than St. Andrew TV, Guns of the West, Santee, Tuco, you're looking at 11 Bang Bang is another one, but he does a lot of Revolutionary War stuff and Civil War things. I do more Western specific. But he does do Western stuff as well. And he does good stuff. I will say he does a lot of good research. He's definitely helped me with some of that content too. His most recent video on his wall gun was actually pretty cool. I watched that. And I highly recommend that if you're into artillery or something like that, or just old flintlocks, go see 11 Bang Bang, man. He's good. Who's another good one as far as Western stuff is concerned? We're kind of a small group. Duke Frazier Productions, I know, is good. The newest long form was a year ago. Yeah, you're right. I know. And I was kind of explaining this earlier. I got a day job. I've mostly been ranching. I'm cowboy, if you will. I'm not like, I don't ride horses and I don't work with cows, but I do work with farm animals all the time. I run a small ranch out in Texas, and that's mostly what I spend my time doing. We recently just expanded our operation. Some of you guys might be familiar with it if you actually watch my posts. Some of my posts talk a little bit about that. Maybe that might be something that I put on this channel. Maybe do a video on a day in the life of what it's like to work with me and what I do. So yeah, the long form was a year ago. Yeah, and it was actually filmed at a different location. It wasn't even filmed where we're at right now. I have no long form content from where I'm currently at, but that is going to change here in the next couple of weeks soon, hopefully. It's just been very difficult. My free time is sparing, to say the least. That is changing. but we'll see. But yes, long form content has been a long time coming. Short form content, on the other hand, that's every day. So, you know, I try to use that as a way to keep people interested and also just to keep my content going and get more viewers. You know, let's just be honest. So thanks for asking the question, though. Thanks for bringing it up. So, were you ever monetized on YouTube since you have like 85,000 subs? Yes, I am. I am monetized on YouTube, but I will be honest about that monetization. It is mostly through my shorts videos that I am monetized. Now, when you monetize on YouTube, you're monetized, no matter what content you do. But I will tell you that shorts don't produce a whole lot of income. They say long form content, live streams, all that usually does, and I'm sure they are correct, and I can tell you that's accurate based on my analytics. But I can tell you right now that a lot of it has to do with production, and a lot of it has to do with production, not only production, but production quality. So if you make garbage videos, you don't get a whole lot of views anyway. And I think the average payout for shorts, to give you disclosure and just an idea, you know, just to give you an idea, I think they pay you a cent for 1,000 views. 1 cent. That's how much you make for shorts. So when you see a short that has like 20 million views on it, just understand that for 1,000 views, they paid him a cent. Now, if you're talking long form content, that's where the money gets better. I don't want to say it's awesome. I can tell you that it depends on how often it is viewed, but for my content, I make about $2 every 1,000 views in long form. And so I can tell you based on my payout, if you will, and I've been monetized since 2023. I've probably only made in 2 years, I've made probably about $3,000. That's it. Now, I'm not shying away from that, and I'm not poo-pooing it by any means. It's been nice. I'm glad that it does, but this isn't a career right now. This isn't something that subsidizes everything I do, and I can't quit my job. I don't really want to anyway, but I mean, if it brings in a little extra income, that's great, but I don't sit here and say that I need it. Now, if you're saying, well, you know, should pay for the Henry rifle that you're trying to purchase, oh yeah, I think that it could if I made a lot more money, but I don't, you know? And, you know, the answer to that, well, you know, you could say, well, you could save. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's a fair answer. It's going to take an awful lot of saving. A lot of saving. But I digress. I hope that clears things up. Yes, I am monetized. Maybe people would be interested in seeing what a day in the life of a cowboy looks like, even though it might not be completely true. I think that kind of also goes back to what my content is about. I think that people would want to know what I do, and that may be good for one video, but I'm not going to pivot my channel. You know, I don't want that to be confused, because what type of content you make attracts certain viewers, and I don't want to attract people that don't want to see my content. But for the viewers to understand what I do on a daily basis, yes, I think that would be a good idea. So maybe just one video to see. Good recommendation. Thank you. So yeah. But anyway, hit that like button if you haven't already done so. It definitely promotes it, lets people know that I'm live, or if they're interested in my content. Buy not completely true. I meant like not what they expect a cowboy to look like. Okay, got it. Okay. Well, um, I can definitely say it's multifaceted. If we're just talking about cowboy stuff in general, clothes, gear, all that stuff, the cowboy today is not the cowboy of the 1800s. I can tell you that. You know, although hats is common, the stuff that I work in and where I work, a hat is not conducive to wear. Now, maybe a baseball cap, not a cowboy hat, but a baseball cap because it fits tighter on my head. Because mainly what I'm doing is I'm dealing with animals that you kind of have to move. And that requires a lot of movement. And for those of you that don't know, I'm a very sweaty individual. So hats just end up being a sweaty mess on top of my head. And I hate that feeling. So more often than not, I don't wear a hat. And as far as clothes is concerned, it's whatever's conducive to keep me from getting a sunburn, stuff like that. I don't wear a gun. I don't need to. If I have a gun, it's in my truck. And the gun that I carry is not one of my nice Colts. And the reason, let's just be honest, people carried the guns that were conducive to fit their budget and also fit their lifestyle, right? And what was available. Okay, they didn't have Glocks back in the day. They didn't have, polymer pistols, all the Wonder Nines that came out back in the day in the 1800s. They had Colt single action armies, they had Schofields, they had black powder revolvers. That's what was available. That's what they utilized. I'm sure there's people out there today that do carry those things on the range, but I can tell you right now, I'm not one of them. If I carry a gun in my truck or whatever for work, I am carrying typically some type of rifle that I don't give a shit about. Excuse me, pardon my language. I carry a weapon that I don't care whether it gets beat up, thrown in the dirt, or whatever. I don't, that means I'm not taking my nice Colts out. That means I'm not taking my nice rifles out. I am taking my garbage, something that works, polymer weapon, and putting it in my truck and just keeping it there until I think I need it. Okay? That's just the kind of way it is. I don't wear a gun belt. I don't, especially when I'm working, when I'm actually doing something, because those things have a tendency to move. And if you're not careful, they could fall out because of the work that I do. So it's just nice to put it somewhere where it's not going to move. Okay. I hope that helps. Man, I always wanted to do this YouTube thing, but when I tried it, ended up being underwhelming and no time to make any quality content since I'm still in school. Okay, what kind of school are you in right now? Let me know. Are you in college? Are you in high school? I don't think you're an elementary student, but let me know. And I can kind of understand what you're saying with the time frame. I mean, you're talking to a guy who sometimes sporadically has been able to make content. My consistency has been a lot better over the last couple of months, and I would say the better part of 6 months I've been decent with it, but it's still not where I want it to be. I don't want to say it's really underwhelming. I would say it's more overwhelming because you're trying to accomplish essentially two lives at once. And quality content is important. I will say this. Sometimes I have had to sacrifice quality for my content just to put out a video. But sometimes that's against better advice. But I do what I do with my channel, and I'm proud of it. I put up content for the viewer as much as I can. I try to make it as good as I can. And if it isn't as good and YouTube doesn't like it, then that is what it is, But I can understand that. But if you wanted to start YouTube, I highly recommend it. To be honest with you, if it's something you really enjoy, And that was the thing is I picked a content stream that I do enjoy doing. So that's another thing I would say about doing YouTube. Don't just pick something because everyone else is doing it or because it makes the most money or you think you'll be able to make a career out of it. Pick it because it's something you're actually into intellectually, because otherwise it's just draining. And even the stuff you love doing gets draining. And trust me, I get it all the time. You know, I'm like, man, do I really want to go out and make another video? But to be honest with you, it's kind of relaxing sometimes knowing that I'm actually doing something I really like. So that's how I feel. Oh, man. Thanks for the like, whoever gave it. Appreciate it. You know. But we'll see. You know. We'll see where this goes. I'm not planning on quitting YouTube anytime soon. I basically like we have 9 years of elementary or whatever, and then after that you pick a middle school for certain job like path or something, and it lasts 4 years, and I just finished the second year. So you picked a job? So what job did you pick that you're in the second year of learning about? So you're a tradesman? Is that accurate? Let me know. I'm curious. Computer science. Okay. So you're in the second year of computer science. And did you choose that or did your academics choose it for you? Let me know. I am genuinely interested right now in what you're talking about. So, appreciate it. Computer science though, okay? Um, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? I'd like to know. Um, I'm guessing you're high school age. High school age. 17, 18. Yeah, after you finish elementary, like from 8 to 14 years old or however much, you get to pick a middle school in your interest of what you want to be like when you grow up. Okay. 17. Hey, young man, welcome. Okay, so I did guess right. Um, do you enjoy computer science? And what are you going to do with it? You know, are you wanting to work for somebody or do you want to start your own business? Awesome, man. Well, I can tell you right now, I was in computer science. No, I was not. Um, Computer science, I am not I am a tech guy, but I'm not. I'm not I'm not the kind of tech guy. I am YouTube tech. Let's put it that way. Here I was a little earlier scrambling around trying to fix my audio. You know, you would think that someone who knew what they were doing actually would know that before they started a live video, but here we are. Um, I'm not. I'm not a tech bro by any means, if you will, and I apologize if that is a term you don't want to hear. I didn't mean any offense, by the way. So, but yeah, no. Let me know if you like computer science, all that stuff. As far as I was not obviously not computer science as I told you, but I am also uh, I am college educated, so I will be telling you that. Okay. Well, to keep it a buck, I just chose that because I had no idea what else to pick. And to be honest, it's not even that good. At least the experience I've had too far in this school, it's pretty yabba dabba doo. Okay. Um, okay. Well, I mean, you sound like a pretty smart dude then, to be honest. I mean, if you got a good head on your shoulders, you can do just about anything. So I can say that from experience, and this is coming from a guy who basically is a master. God, what? How do you say this? I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. I've done a lot of jobs in my life so far. I'm only 36, but and people might be surprised that I'm only that old. I might look older, but I've been in the military. I've been a teacher. I've been a business owner. I've been a cowboy, a YouTuber. I've done a lot of things. I basically switch a job every 2 years. 2 to 4 years, I switch jobs. But this one right now is kind of what I'm stuck at. I'm good at so far. So I mean, I definitely have a lot of experience in different fields, but I'm not excellent in one. I guess you could say well-rounded, but to be honest with you, sometimes it's kind of frustrating. So to say that you are set in being a teacher explains why you sound so reassuring. Thank you. I don't know if that is meant to be why, just natural with the career. Um, Maybe it's because I sound so positive that way. I don't know, man. Um, I was educated to be a teacher. I went to school to be a teacher, actually. That's why I was college educated. Um, Maybe that's just what we were naturally trained to do inadvertently. Um, but let's see. Uh, yeah, that's great. Thank you. That's a great compliment. Like the computer science part itself, yeah, cool programming and stuff. But then the school part, it's like random kids and then teachers, low key random. So, okay, I got you, man. Um, yeah, well, I mean, you're in school too. I mean, being in school itself is sometimes just you deal with the day to day. I mean, that is kind of life, but I mean, school all in itself. I mean, when you're in school, you're kind of in that bubble, and then once you get out that bubble, you experience more about what life in general is like, and you find out the ins and outs and all that stuff. And, I mean, at least you're getting something. I think that's great. Uh, Say in the States, that's not really as I can be a Gen Z translator for willingly. Oh, okay. So you're part of Gen Z too, then? Peru, I assume. Are you also his age too? I know that Gen Z is can be older than 17 for sure. Um, you know, but yeah, that's great. Awesome. Well, thank you for watching then. Uh, you're younger. How much younger? I could be one of your teachers. But that's okay. There's kids that I taught that are adults now. It's kind of crazy. They're to see them grow up is great. See them experience the world, experience life. Them being kids when you teach them, and then they come back to you with some life experience. Ah, yeah. Okay, I didn't catch the 14 part. Okay, man. Got it. Well, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Um, and yeah, I know you said it was your birthday. Didn't catch the 14 part, but that's interesting to hear. Uh, didn't know my audience would be that young. I thought I'd have a bunch of older people on. I didn't say I turned 14, so don't worry. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I thought my audience would be a little bit older than that, to be honest, and I'm sure a lot of them are. Um, I think if I looked at my analytics again, I think the average age is about 25, 25 to 30, so a little younger than I am. Uh, Slovenian kids start school at 6, finish primary at 15, then pick secondary academic, gymnasium, or vocational university follows if they qualify. Okay, yeah, I kind of figured that. Um, cool. But like I said, you know what's good about that though, is the fact that you have a school that's going to produce you into a profession earlier before you actually even go to like college age, because that's essentially what U.S. kids are not doing. Is they're going to not a trade, they're not learning a skill, they're just learning generic stuff and then going off to college if they end up getting that far. Um, you know, I still think the program you're in, computer science, whatever, if you're interested, if you're not interested, I think it's interesting that it's good that you're learning a trade that you're essentially being prepped for, and maybe you can go on to continue learning something that's more to your liking, hopefully. Said that he likes the programming part, but he doesn't like the school itself and the people in it. Okay, okay, thank you for translating. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so you like what you do, you just don't like the people that are in it. Okay. That can be said of anything, though. You go into the workplace and you end up loving the job, but you hate the people you work for or work with. To be honest with you, at the end of the day, if it gets you to your goal, it really doesn't matter. That's my opinion, though. Okay? So I picked the vocational, which means it's for specific jobs instead of focusing on subjects for university. Okay. That's interesting that I would think that computer science is considered a vocation and not university. But nonetheless, you still pick something. You still pick something to focus on. And I still think that's great. As I said, if you learn a skill earlier and then if you don't like it, you can still transition into something else. You're still young to do it, you know? But you can still go to university if you pick the job specific school. Okay, yeah, and are you planning on going to university or do you just want to stay with the computer science? You know, that would be my follow up question. Either way, I think you're doing fine, you know? Just so you know, if you're ever talking to a member of Gen Z. Uh, let's see. My experience with Gen Z directly is just with being a teacher for 2 years. I can tell you that attention span varies. I think it's false that Gen Z doesn't have a great attention span. I think that's an overgeneralization, in my opinion. I think they can. I think they do. It just depends on the person. And I think that's true with any generation. Shoot, my generation and the generation before that, too, I'm sure, had their fair share of people that didn't want to pay attention. Come on. You know? I mean, to completely label a generation as not willing to sit still and listen to something, God, that just sounds like being a kid. So what? That's what kids do. You know? Anybody who has kids could tell you that. I know I could. So, but yeah, man. So we've gone on for over an hour and 8 minutes. Glad everybody's been sticking on this line. That's great. Um, been receiving good questions, good commentary. Been enjoying it so far. I'm still good with going on if you guys are. You know, we can talk about anything. That's what I'm here for. I'll be honest, I'll probably cut it off in about 30 minutes though. So I'm willing to go for about 30 more minutes, okay? And we can chit chat. But after that, I'm probably going to call it quits. I've got to go eat, all that stuff. I still haven't eaten for dinner or whatever, you know. And I'm sure just when I get off is probably when people are going to want to come on. Well, yeah, so the thing is, if I do good in these last 2 years of school, I might apply to something called FRI here and means Faculty of Computer and Information Science. So you would be a teacher, basically. That's what that sounds like. So you would go to school, you would learn the profession, you would learn exactly what you're doing, and then you would apply to university for a teaching degree in what you got a certification in. That's what it sounds like. Correct me if I'm wrong. Which makes sense, really. The only thing I would say is if you could get a little experience in your actual profession before teaching it. I say that knowing that I went into teaching not being a teacher, and I say that also teaching a subject that I studied, but there wasn't really a whole lot of professional jobs for, you know? So I just say that that would be an advantage. Maybe. Of course, there's always the flip side of that. You go into the profession, it ends up paying more. You end up making more money doing the profession than you do teaching it, which is something that teachers run into as well. So, you know, I'd say that's accurate. But yeah, so, man, plus my phone's running out of battery too, man. You know, and in order to charge it, I'd actually have to take the mic off. Don't want to do that again because, you know. And we'd have a rough time. But yeah, we can do a live stream tomorrow as well. Would you guys want to do that? You know, if you guys want to, you can do one of those. But let me know what you're. Okay. Sure. All right. Well, maybe I'll do a live stream tomorrow. Have you jump in. It's Sunday. Most people should be off. Maybe do it after church when people are home. Hopefully get more people interested. Ugh. Really? Okay. Thanks for you do you. So, but whatever. Yeah, that's whatever. I wouldn't talk about that stuff. It's weird. Hey, Santee! Thanks for jumping in, man. I was wondering when you were going to come on. Hey, I loved your episode today. It was great hearing about Dirty Dan. I still miss him, man. I'm sure you do too. But yeah, he was a great influence. He was great. It says willingly. So FRI is faculty within the University of, I can't pronounce that, but it specializes in, well, computer science and stuff like that. Okay. Okay, cool. Vocational plus FRI gives you strong practical and theoretical CS skills, opens jobs in development, IT, data, or path to master's freelancing or work abroad. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great, man. It sounds like you got a. It sounds like you got a lot. Be honest, you got more than I ever did. I mean, like I said, I'm not an IT guy. I'm sure you got a lot of work ahead of you. That sounds pretty awesome, though. Sounds like you got a bright career. Arizona Ghostwriter, sorry you just got home from work. I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, you still working at Old Tucson? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know what's going on with that, dude. Um, Are you still working the same job there? All that? You still living in the same place? You know, haven't moved or whatever? Are you working on any new movies? I think that's important to ask. You know, um, but yeah, man. And Santee, haven't heard from you in a while, but I'm glad you're here. So anyway, but yeah, I'll be on here for probably about 10, 15 more minutes, and then I'll probably end up shutting her down. Nice. I lead the history department, Santee. Awesome. That is great. Um, so are you planning a question for Santee here? Are you planning on continuing to work there until you can't anymore, like you're fully retired, all that stuff? Or are you planning on doing other things with your life, and do you have other things afterward? That's another way. How are you? Hang on, I'll answer that in a second. So in short, yeah, you can be a teacher if you want, but that's not the whole point of finishing all that. It's to have all those degrees in computer science and hopefully getting a good job. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Well, you have a lot of opportunity, man. Sounds like you have a lot of choices. I think that's awesome. Arizona Ghost Riders, how are you? I've been busy, bro. I'll be honest. I have been doing a lot with my day job. So much so that pretty much over the last 4 years has kind of taken over my life, good, bad, or indifferent. You know, and it hasn't allowed me to follow up so much with the YouTube thing, which has been kind of sad. But that's another reason why I'm doing this live stream, to kind of explain where my life has been, you know, and why I've been doing what I'm doing, and hopefully kind of getting back into it a little bit more so, even though I'm putting out content every day. Yeah, I've been great. You know, kids are great. Wife is great. I got a new dog, all that stuff. You know, still living the cowboy life, as you will. Uh, yeah, hang on. Um, I plan to die in 1880s clothing, walking up and down the street in a famous Western movie set. Okay, so you're never quitting. I get it. That's awesome, man. Way to dedicate to the cause. You know, I think that's me too. Eventually, although I got a long way, a long, long way. Life gets in the way, Slick. Let me know how I can help in the future. I appreciate that. Um, I don't think you can really. I just say help me. Just watch. You know, just share my videos. That's how you can help. Like my posts. I post every day. You know, comment, all that good stuff, all this normal stuff that a YouTuber would want. I guess that's really all I need. But that's it, man. That's it. But thank you though. It's always good to hear from another. I was actually just talking about you, man. I was just talking about uh, I was just talking about how you're kind of in this Western space with the rest of us, you know, and I was naming all the different Western YouTubers, gun tubers. You know, you were definitely up there. And so I definitely was telling people about you. So I'm sure more people will come and see you. Not that you need any more, because I know you're a big guy, a big content guy. Okay. Man. What's the dog's name? Red. That'll do, Red. Get up here. Come here. Let's see if I can actually get you guys to see him. That'll do. Come here. Come here, bud. Oh, he's kind of. That'll do. Come on, man. Can you do it? Ah, there we go. Here we go. Here's the puppy. Here's the puppy. There you go. So his name is Red. Come on, can you look at the camera, man? No, you want to pay attention to me? He's a border collie. He's my sheepdog. He's my working dog. He's a good boy. He loves being a puppy. He's She's 3 years old. Loves working with animals. Yep. I know you're a cat person, aren't you, Santee? Let me know. Man, willingly's punctuation is not doing you any favors. Us Europeans will try to type better. Yeah, well, I know you say that, and he's getting into my microphone. But I'm not much better at punctuation either. You know, especially in this day and age when it comes to typing and stuff. You know. You are getting free time in a live stream. What do you think of that? I usually try to put voices in his head. He's a good dog. He's a good dog. He hasn't been in many of my videos. He's been in a few of my posts. Shoot, maybe he'll help more people join up. I don't know. He's a good boy. Squirrel Assassin says, what breed is he? He's a Border Collie. Border Collies are sheepdogs typically. And when I say sheepdogs, they're herding dogs. They don't. They're not livestock guardian dogs. It's different. You know. Yeah, thanks, man. He's pretty awesome. He is. He is. He is probably the most loyal dog I think I've ever had in my life. And that's saying something because I've had a lot of dogs. You know, but he is the first Border Collie I've had, and I will tell you what, they are very hyper, and for good reason. Obviously, as I said, they have to herd animals, so these dogs need to run out. They need to run out and round up animals for you and have enough energy to drive them. And that's what he does. That is his job. He's okay at it. Oh, man. He's pretty awesome. Yep, he sure is. Border Collie, I already answered that. I don't really focus on proper punctuation online. That's okay, man. I generally know what you're talking about. So we got about 15 more minutes on this live stream. We got 8 people on. By all means, ask me any questions. You know, Santee, if I remember correctly, you're a cat person. Do you like to hunt? Yes, I do. The question is, do I have time for it? I have hunted deer, hog, squirrel, turkey, varmints as well. You know, have I had some luck with it? Yes. And he got bored, so he's going to go run off. Now he's going to go sleep somewhere in another room. I guess he got tired of me talking. But yeah, I do like to hunt. Now, another question that probably would come up with that is, what do you use to hunt? You know, and I've used shotguns, pump action. I've used muzzle loaders. I've used lever action rifles. There's only one gun on here, on my channel, that I have actually shown that I've used in hunting, and that was the single shot. And I use that to hunt squirrels. Yeah. So, how did muzzleloading hunting go? Where do I start? First off, I need to be a little more honest with that. I used an inline muzzleloader, and for those of you who don't know what an inline muzzleloader is, it is a modern muzzleloader that the ignition system is directly behind the charge. The way old muzzle loaders work was they utilize a flintlock or a cap lock or a matchlock system. And the thing is an inline doesn't do that. Okay, it's just directly behind the charge, and with a flintlock or something else, it's usually on the side, whereas inline is inline. And it uses. So I wouldn't say it was traditional muzzle loading hunting, but it was muzzle loading. It was muzzle loading hunting, just not in the traditional sense. My experience with it, I was very inexperienced. It was a different type of hunting, I will say that, because you only get one shot, And in my instance, and I hate to admit it, and I will admit it since I'm telling this story, I actually had to use 2 shots to kill the thing. And the whole reason, ironically, was because I did not zero the rifle properly. Because when you do a muzzle loader, you have to zero with the same barrel every time. I could be wrong, but I will say that the powder fouling, it messes up your shot. If you zero on something that's been shot 1 or 2 times and you haven't cleaned it properly or cleaned it all the way, it might throw off your shot. And that's exactly what happened. Is I did not zero properly with the muzzle loader. So what I thought was a good zero didn't work out, and I had to shoot the thing twice because I missed the first time, and the second time I shot it where I didn't want to shoot it. It wasn't a clean kill. So sorry to bust your bubble on that one, and didn't mean to sound so down and out about it, but muzzle loading hunting, I'd say it's an experience, but you have to know what you're doing and you have to be proficient. It goes with any firearm, but I mean you have to be even more so proficient, in my opinion. Do you eat the boars and deer that you hunt? Yes, I did. Yes. Everything. I want to say the squirrels that I hunt, I don't. I didn't get the turkey I was looking for because, when you go hunting, there's no guarantee that you're going to get what you're hunting. But yeah. So, man. But yeah, I typically do eat whatever I'm going for, unless it's a varmint, and then varmints usually are a little bit more gamey, and they're not meant to be eaten. Foxes, squirrels, you can eat squirrel, but it also kind of depends on the season. Rabbits, seasonal, because you could end up eating something that isn't good for you. Sometimes I know that I just don't want to test that out. I don't want to risk accidentally getting some disease I don't want. And I know that. Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, I didn't expect you to eat the squirrels. Okay, yeah. Boar and deer, yeah, I have eaten them. Venison's good, just don't cook the garbage out of it. I made that mistake. Burnt the meat, then it just tastes like leather. But venison's good, in my opinion. Boar meat is good too. It's just like going down to the grocery store, and it's better than going to the grocery store because healthier stuff for you. Tastes good, in my opinion. You know. But yeah. Well, yeah, never had anyone ask me how the muzzle loading went, but I'm glad you asked. Glad I could explain that. And I'm sure your mileage will vary as always. You know? But yeah, I only went muzzle loading hunting one time. And it was successful, but it wasn't a clean kill. Squirrel can be tasty, I hear. Yeah, I've heard that too, and I'm sure they are. I've seen videos of people cooking them and eating them. I just don't. It just varies on the time of year. You got to be careful with that, and I'm sure it's not hard. I just don't care to do the research on it because I don't. Quite frankly, I don't want to eat a rat because that's to me what a squirrel is. It's a rat. It's just a brown rat that climbs a tree and has a fuzzy tail. So, anyway, got a couple more minutes, guys, and then I'm gonna have to call it a day. But yeah. So, anyway, I'm way too European. I don't even know what muzzle loading is. I think that's interesting because muzzle loading is pretty popular in Europe, to my understanding. And I'm sure it varies based on circles. But some of those countries, based on their gun laws, muzzle loading is about the only thing you can do. I don't know which country that is, but some of them are just that way. What's the next big video idea? Oh man, where do I start? I got so many. The next big video idea, to be honest with you, it's a shooting video. I know that a lot of my viewers want shooting videos, and so it's probably going to be shooting. I'm going to be shooting something. What? I haven't quite decided yet. But to be honest with you, as somebody pointed out in the comment section, the last long form content I've had was in a year. I need to get on it, man. I need to do just a shooting video on something, you know. I'm definitely doing batch filmed content. Yeah, I'm sure you know what I mean when I say that. But I am definitely doing batch filming. I'm trying to make that my go-to method so that I don't go through dry spells like I've been. Because from being deployed to having multiple job changes, it's just been crazy, man. I'm sure you understand. Plus, COVID didn't make things much easier. You know, I think COVID really kind of killed my channel for a little bit. But I don't know. I'm trying to be consistent. I'm trying. And I know you're very consistent on weekends, dude. Without fail, every Saturday you got something. And you've been that way since you started. So I know how that is. I unfortunately get spurts of a lot of productivity, and then it just slows down from there. And I feel bad because I feel like my audience is getting kind of a raw deal. But surprisingly, some people stick around. You know, I'm kind of surprised at that. So, you know, which is always cool to hear. It's tough to keep the schedule. Yes, it is. It is, especially when you're trying to do other things. And then, of course, you know, you always got to deal with the fact of, oh, man, I got to go out there and make another video if I want to be consistent. You know, and it does wear on you sometimes. I mean, like I was telling somebody on here, it's, you know, you love it. You love what you do, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that you don't get tired of it. You know, I did get tired of making videos after a while. And then I kind of took a break that just conveniently so happened when I was deploying, you know. And unfortunately, as you well know, Santee, my father did die recently. So that's something that I've had to deal with. So that wasn't easy. And I think that also didn't help with content creation either. But to be honest with you, I think anyone would run into that. Wouldn't blame them. Dog's back. So I'm petting the puppy too. You know. But anyway. Difficult time, and yes, that is a heartbreaker. Yeah. Well. I miss him. I really do. I miss him. But I like to think he's still here. You know, I think that about wraps it up, guys. It's getting late here. I think what I'll do is I'll do a live stream tomorrow. So feel free to jump on. And we'll see how long it goes. Maybe we'll get more people. But anyway, thanks for jumping on. Glad you guys asked the questions, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.